welcome to day 23 of Month of Biz Love. I am Tara Swigert. I help makers and artists feel awesome about their business and become their own best experts in their business. And one of the many ways to do that is through this current 30-day challenge, Month of Biz Love, where we are learning how to love our business more and the steps it takes to create a business we love. You can find the workbook, which I'll refer to a couple times, at taraswigert.com/monthofbizlove, and you can find all the other BizLove lessons on YouTube in the Month of BizLove playlist. You can find that at taraswigert.com/YouTube. If you go and sign up for the workbook at taraswigert.com/monthofbizlove, you will get directions on how to find the videos and how to participate in the community. There is a thriving community on Instagram of people who are answering those questions using the hashtag Month of BizLove. You can check out their answers there, and you will learn a lot for your own business by seeing what other people are doing. The power of community is awesome for figuring stuff out in your business. So today we are going to talk about knowing your numbers. Over the past couple days, we talked about how do you know what matters in your business? How do you know what to spend your time on? How can you spend your time in the most effective way possible? And I really broke it down into four areas that I think of as the foundations of your business. If you want to grow your business, whether you are just starting out and it's your first 10 days or you've been doing it for 10 years, it's always going to come back to one of these four areas. And I've talked to all kinds of makers and artists who have been in business all kinds of time and have both small and big businesses, and I've asked them, do you think these are the four areas? And everybody seems to agree. These are the four main areas. First one, and we covered all of these in yesterday's lesson. So go back and watch lesson day 22 if you missed it. The first one is mission mapping, knowing where you're going and where you want to go, and mapping out a plan to get there. And we've talked about that a lot in Month of Biz Love. Not only where you want to go and how to get there, but also how to actually be sure you're getting stuff done, like the right mindset, the way to prioritize. And that really hits on one of the foundations, which is all about effectiveness, knowing that you're working on what really matters. And the other two foundations, other than mission mapping and effectiveness, which we've covered, what we haven't hit yet is profitability and marketing. So profitability is what we're going to talk about today. It's all about, first, before you can know you're profitable, you need to know your numbers. And what do I mean by numbers? Your numbers are everything numerical related in your business. Specifically, what are your costs? What costs go into making your product? Those are often called costs of goods sold, or COGS. How much time does it take you to make your product? How many do you need to sell in order to break even? How many do you need to sell in order to make as much money as you want to make in your business? This is what I mean by knowing your numbers. Now, there are different ways you can collect these numbers. You can start tracking the money you spend in your business. I really like the app GoDaddy Bookkeeping. You can do it all through PayPal or through a bank account, so you have it all in one place. And then you actually need to look at the numbers and break it down into products and costs. And then you also, and I'm surprised at how many makers don't know this, you need to have a way of knowing your sales. How much are you actually making in sales, and how much of that is profit? Now, if you have no idea how to do this and you haven't looked at it in your business, or you've been avoiding it, you are not alone. You are not alone. So many makers that I meet and talk to have the same problem. In fact, I started talking about profitability not because I'm interested in it, but because I met makers that were at their peak of production. They were selling all that they could possibly make, and yet they weren't making any money. And I found that troubling. So I first started out helping people make more sales with marketing, and teaching and talking and writing about marketing. But every once in a while, I would talk to somebody and they'd be like, oh, I want to make more money. I'm doing more marketing, but I can't make any more product. I don't know why I'm not making money. And they thought, well, are you profitable? And it always came back to us needing to work on their profitability. So I worked with a few people on figuring out why they weren't profitable, and I realized that it always comes down to a couple main issues, so I made a class about it. The class is called Pay Yourself, but it's only available inside Liftoff and the Starship. And the good news is Liftoff only opens every 6 months, but it's open right now. So if you are interested in learning more about that and working on your own profitability, that is like the the second main area we cover. In your first 2 weeks of Liftoff, we work on your mission and your mapping, figuring out where you are now, where you want to go in your business, and then making a plan for reaching your next goal. But then right away, we dive into profitability, because here's a really important thing. So many people want to start with marketing because marketing feels awkward, marketing feels exciting, like it's fun to use Instagram, it's fun to use social media tools, that's way more trendy. But there's no point in doing any of that if your items aren't profitable, if you don't know at what point you'll be profitable, and if you're not going to make any money from your business, right? First, I want you to know that your business will make you more money if you sell more items. So we dive right into focusing on profitability before we get into marketing and Liftoff. And all of these classes I'm mentioning are also available in the Starship, which is my online community. If you scroll down on the Liftoff page, you can read more about the Starship. That has super limited spots, and it is more for people who are looking for accountability and support and not just the education. But Liftoff has 6 months of classes that walk you through the process of building your business. We go through these foundations one by one and work on them for 6 months. So that is what I mean by knowing your numbers. I mean, knowing your cost of goods sold, your expenses, your sales numbers, and knowing how to gather them up and then how to review them every month. So we talk all about how to do that in Pay Yourself, which is only a part of Liftoff and Starship. In today's workbook and today's challenge for you is to just answer the question, do you know your numbers? Are you familiar with them as I just defined them, or do you not? So that's what I want you to answer in the challenge. In the workbook, I ask you some more questions, like if you really know your numbers, write them down here to be sure that you're clear on what they actually are. A lot of people feel like they know their numbers in their own head, but don't know them for, they couldn't actually write down what they are. They don't actually know what they are. They just feel like they know them. So I want you to look at if you actually know them, fill out that worksheet in the Month of the Biz Love workbook. And at the bottom of it, I give you some examples of what you could share on Instagram with the community if you're not comfortable. Obviously, most of you don't want to share what your actual numbers are. You might not even want to say that you're not super familiar with them. But you can talk about that. I give you some ideas for how to talk about it on Instagram. So I want to hear your answer. I want to hear, do you guys know your numbers? Do you not? Share it on Instagram with the hashtag Month of Biz Love. And if you need to explore this foundation and build this foundation of your business because you haven't yet, understand you're not alone, but you need to work on it. If you want to make more money, this is the key. You have to know your stuff is profitable. So you can find that class at tarasweiger.com/lift. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to hear how your relationship is with your numbers. And we will have another lesson tomorrow in Month of Biz Love. Thank you so much, and have a great day.